Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming out. Touching on Saturday, I don't think anybody associated with our program was happy about the performance versus UTSA. Unfortunately, that game didn't go the way we planned. We started slow in the first few drives, dug ourselves into a deep hole, and we struggled to do much after that time. But I've told our team that we have to do our jobs better, and that starts with me. Everybody doing their 111th. We have to stick together, and we have to keep moving forward. Our coaches are going to coach them on anything that's correctable on the film. And I've asked them, the players, to remember the lessons, but not relive the game. I don't want them ever to feel that way again. I want to do everything in my power, everything in our program to make sure we never feel that way again. So I certainly don't want to relive it. I guess the last thing I need to say, I'd be remiss if I didn't say what a great job Jeff Traylor and his staff and those players at UTSA have done. They've done a phenomenal job. They are a tough team. So a lot of respect for what they've done. My team and the staff are completely committed to doing everything we can this week to put us in the best position to win this weekend. And it really is like a 1-0 singleness of purpose. We're going back on the road this Saturday to UAB to play the defending conference champs at their place. They're led by Bill Clark, who I've known for 20-something years. I got a lot of respect for him as a football coach and a ton of respect for what he's done building that program back into what it is today at UAB. A couple other things to talk about with their personnel. You know, they do an unbelievable job in all three phases. Offensively, they run the wide zone play incredibly well, and they throw shots, and they hit those shots. Defensively, they're a normal UAB defense. They are solid. They are clones. Their nose guards are going to be 6 foot tall, and they're going to be 340-something pounds. Their outside backers are going to be 6'7", 260. And you watch them in warmups, and they all look the same. And they got DBs back there that are going to play the game the way it's supposed to be played in the run game. They're all physical, and their linebackers do a great job coming downhill. So it's an outstanding challenge for us going up there to Birmingham to play this game. But we were excited to get back on the field yesterday, and we'll be excited to get this plan today and to get back on the grass and practice together. With that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Hey, Mike, obviously process is a big deal around your program. Any tweaks that you made to your process after looking back over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah. In terms of true tweaks to our process, no, we know the process works. The process is proven, true, tried and true. But there's a couple things we've tweaked. And again, it's not to the point of anything like, hey, it's the definition of insanity to keep doing the same thing and expect different results. But it is frustrating for everybody in this program because we practiced really well last week, and then we didn't play like we wanted to. So we're going to continue to practice the right way. We're going to continue to install the schemes the right way and prepare these guys the right way. And we're going to do everything in our power to tweak our ability to do it on game day the way we practice it. And, I know that's a universal problem. That's why they call us coach. We're always trying to get the guys to be perfect. And but we were far from perfect on Saturday. We got a lot of things we can improve on, and we're going to try to get that done this week.
And I guess again, the quarterback situation. What's the status on Jake, who went down Saturday, and what is that going to look like this coming weekend?
Yeah, we don't know Jake's status for this weekend. There's a chance he'll practice today. He did not practice yesterday. We'll see as we go. It was a non-contact injury. We got all the imaging done on Sunday, and it is not a season-ending injury or anything like that. And like I said, he thinks he's going to try to practice today, so we'll see how it goes. Non-contact injuries are always scary, right, because you just don't know what they are and what's causing the inability to perform. But the imaging says that it should be okay. So we'll see when we can get him back out there, and we'll prepare other people to be able to come in and do their job if he cannot.
And then you had a couple guys banged up in the midst of a couple of weeks. What have you seen from kind of like you preach the next man up mentality? What have you seen from those twos that are becoming ones and the threes that are stepping up and getting more playing time?
Yeah, I think in college football, it's got to be that mindset. It's got to be the next man up. But in some cases, we've got the next man up. And that is harder. I've tried to look at it, in totality, and especially on the defensive side of the ball. We returned 10 starters. And we were excited about those guys. Those guys were awesome. And then we knew there was a chance we'd be able to insert Des, who you'll hear from later today. And so that was, Des for Blaze, two guys that run all over the field and chase the ball down. We were excited about those possibilities. and return the coaching staff, right? Return Coach Smith calling it and doing a great job. And so you try to ask yourself, like, what's really different? And one thing that's really different is you look at UTSA, and they're an older team, and they got great players, and they had everybody starting that they planned on starting day one of the football season. And that's nice. You know, some people, I guess, get that reality. We have not been fortunate enough to get that reality here. Of the 10 starters we thought we were returning, 5 of them didn't play against UTSA. That's tough, you know, and again, not excuses, just realities. And want to make sure, like, as you talk about how some of those backups have done, not to the same level as those starters would have. And that's a tough thing. It's a tough thing as a coach when you have a scheme designed and it goes to fruition, or it comes to fruition, everything goes the way you draw it up on paper, and then somebody doesn't execute. But again, like that still all falls on us as coaches. Our job is to get them to execute and to make them confident enough to be able to make those plays in the game. And that's what we're working to do.
And a couple of those guys, next man up on the docket today. What have you seen from Ari and Dez, two guys who have kind of, you know, earned their spot on the field?
Yeah, I'll start talking about Dez because I was just talking about him. You know, Dez is a run and hit linebacker that has grown in the scheme and his knowledge of the scheme every week. And that's what enabled us to start him. You know, he's come in here and he was so disruptive in the spring. And we were so excited about what the possibilities with Dez. And then for training camp, you know, largely he was not there. He was banged up with different things. And because of the way he throws his body around. And now he's healthier. And I think he's week 7 healthy, if you will, or week 8 healthy. And he's playing really good football. So I'm really pleased with how he's playing. He had a career high in tackles for us the other night, and he certainly didn't look out of place at any time on that football field. He looked great, and I think his future is very, very high. Moving over to Ari. Ari is a guy that I think our team gets excited when he goes in the game. I think JP mentioned to me last night, I think he's had an explosive run in each of our last 5 games. And that's a heck of a stat, you know, especially when you're struggling to run the ball at sometimes. He jumps in the game. He doesn't care. He's going to hit it downfield. He's going to put people on his back like they're a backpack and drag them 10 yards. And the offensive line loves it when he comes in. Everybody gets a little juiced. And it's not just his roles as a running back that Ari helps our team with. He's a core special teams guy that is dominant on special teams. You know, he was recognized as one of the top 2 players in the nation last year on special teams in 2020. And I'd say he's certainly continuing that right now. People don't want to see Ari Broussard on special teams. And we've got to do a good job continuing to carve roles for him in the run game, because I'm excited to watch him every time he touches the ball too.
Coach, last time you were shut out, you responded with your season high offensive performance, 48 points on Texas Southern of the FCS. What is the challenge with responding to a shutout against a defense like UAB, which blanked Southern Miss 34-0 last week?
Yeah, Steve, I like your optimism, man. I like where you're going with that comment. But the reality is we've just got to play really good because it is certainly no disrespect to our opponent after that prior one, but UAB is a dominant defense. They are a really good defense. So we're going to have to play really well. They're going to make us earn everything. Now, can we go light up the scoreboard? Yes, we can. Yes, we can, and we need to. But it's going to require really good play out of our quarterbacks. You know, we were I think we were something like 5% efficient on our passes thrown in the game the other day, and that's not going to get it done. That allows people to load the box with an inordinate amount of people. And if you can't punish them when they do that, then playing offense in the modern era is tough, especially when people have really good players. So we've got to find a way to make the passing game go for us and be an asset for us. And then we've got to continue to run the ball and run the ball well. You know, I look at what we did the other night, and you can't live this way, but if you take the sacks out of the equation, the sacks and intentional grounding, I think we average like 3.1 a carry. And, you know, that's not great. That's not the standard we want, but that's reasonable against a defense that has that many hats in the box. And so the sacks killed us. I think we lost 30 yards on 1 sack the other night when you count the penalty. So it's pretty unbelievable.
Coach, you talked about UTSA, and you ran to a really good team last week, and you've played Arkansas and you've played Texas. How would you compare UTSA with Arkansas and Texas?
You know what? I'm not going to get into comparisons. Those are 3 really good teams that have all been ranked in the top 25 now. And they're different in their approaches to things. Certainly Arkansas with the tempo of their offense. All of them had good defensive qualities, but very different offenses. I don't know that we played an offense quite like Texas yet, regardless of what the scoreboard said. And we haven't played a back like Bijan Robinson. That's the one comparison I'm comfortable making, is he is the best player we've played in my time at Rice.
Hey, Coach, can you talk about their quarterback situation? It's not often you got a guy that's the fourth all-time leading passer for a program that's a backup. I know they'll both play, but what do they both do well, and how do you plan against that two-quarterback possibility?
You know, I don't think the offense changes too much, whether it's Dylan Hopkins or Tyler Johnson. I just don't see it changing. It hasn't changed. They're going to be in the pistol. They're going to hand off the wide zone, and they're going to take shots. That's one thing over time Tyler Johnson's done a great job of, is hitting those shots. And, you know, I got all the respect in the world for him, because he'll drop back there and wait it out and then absolutely, you know, pole vault that thing, or javelin that thing down the field. And he gives his guys a chance, and they've got great skill on the outside to go up and go get it. And if you look at last year's game, that was the difference in the game for us, is the two shots they were able to hit. And if we could have stopped those two shots in the third quarter, obviously we win the game. So that would have been, that's a big deal. We've got to continue to do a great job stopping the run and stopping their zone scheme. And then when they take those shots, we got to play top down.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thanks, Coach.
All right. Thank you all.
All right, let's bring Ari Broussard up first. All right, Ari, we're going to open up with a question. Just as you look back now, let's talk a little bit about your journey from when you first got here and now how you've created such an expanding role for yourself in the offense as well as on special teams.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
All right, just talk a little bit about the journey you've made to from when you first got to Rice to where you find yourself now, the kind of role you have, and what it's taken to get there.
It's been a long journey, coming from a walk-on and trying to earn a scholarship spot to trying to earn a significant role in the offense. And, it's been a long time coming, and I finally think this year it's been a great year for me to try to expand my role and have a greater part in the team that I haven't had in the past, and finally kind of develop as a leader in some sense, trying to, as a senior now, just trying to take a bigger part and do my role, do my 111th, as Coach says, in the offense.
Questions?
Ari, I think you've probably been an MVP of a couple of spring games now. How exciting is it to turn on the tape in the fall and you get to see yourself making some of those same runs against a different set of jerseys?
You always look forward to seeing yourself in games. Spring is nice, but, it's not quite like the game, and you always want to see your stats and all those great things. Still haven't recorded a college touchdown. Hopefully get that soon. But, going up against guys like Jordan, Cam, Juma, KG, all those guys that push me to be better and do better, and Coach Picasso. And, finally seeing all that hard work, all that competition pay off, and getting a greater role in the fall now, and being able to mimic those things that I've shown I can do in the spring and the fall. It's been a great opportunity. I've had a blast doing it.
And how encouraging and cool is it that, you've gotten a lot of late game work, third downs. You've kind of become a guy that the coaches trust in key moments like that.
It's wonderful. I've always tried to preach to my coaches and prove that I have the ability not only to be like that downhill, that run through people's soul type of back, but also be able to catch the ball, be able to block, and be a total and complete back.
And then how about on special teams? I know that hitting people is something that, you had a brief stint at linebacker. but it seems like this team, if you can do a little bit of everything, that helps. How has that kind of been a part of your journey and your growth here?
Special teams is where I kind of began. It's kind of where I made a name for myself. It's kind of how I kind of expanded my role in the offense was through special teams and doing well there. And because of the success I had there, they thought that it'd be better to include me in the offense more. And, it's fun going down there and doing what I can, anything I can to help the team. And whether that be special teams or offense,
Hey, Ari, how do you put this last game behind you, but still learn from it and focus on UAB? Obviously a big one coming up Saturday.
We can't do anything about the past. All we can do is look forward to the future. And like Coach Bloom said, all we can worry about is doing our 111th and taking the lesson learned from the last game and just putting it towards not thinking about it, but using it as fuel to go on and produce against UAB and just have that green light mentality, just trying to go and do your part.
Hey, Ari, with UAB, I know how good their defense is, but what impresses you the most about their defense? What concerns you and what makes them so good?
I mean, obviously any college football team is a good team and they have great players, but I also feel like we have great players on our side. I don't really try to concern myself too much about what they have and what they do. I'm more concerning myself on what I can do and how I can be better and what I can do to lead my team and get a W, get a victory.
Have you noticed anything, whether through film study or practice this week, that you feel like the offense has made a change or a shift to be able to turn it right back on against UAB after a slower showing?
The coaches are doing everything in their power, and what I can do is what I always do is trust in the coaches, trust in their plan, and just stick to it and try to using their scheme and what they coach me to do my best and do our absolute best to turn the tide from what we've had in last weekend to come out with a dub this season, this weekend.
All right, anything else for Ari? All right, Ari, we'll let you go. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bring up Des. Des, we'll start off just looking back last week. If you, as you think back or what you've seen on film, how would you evaluate your first start at a college football game of this level?
I mean, it was real nice to get that first start. And I look at film and I always criticize myself on what I need to do better and what I did wrong in the scheme. So going forward, I don't make the same mistakes over and over again. Each week with the reps, I get better and better.
Questions?
I talked to August Pete last week, and he mentioned the extra film and all the stuff that he was doing off the field as he kind of waited for his body to get healthy and ready to go. How did you kind of work to improve while you were kind of sidelined for a couple of weeks?
It was real easy with the help of Montero playing beside me, and also I had Myron, and he was getting those reps, and I would always ask Myron questions, and then I'll also go to Coach Smith and ask him what do I need to get better at as far as scheme wise or on the field, coverage or run game fits and everything like that. So Coach Smith helped me out a lot, and then Trey Schumann and EG, they helped out a whole bunch. They were just talking to me it was don't get discouraged about the playbook. It's gonna come. The more reps you get, it's gonna come to you naturally.
And then 2 games into conference play now. Obviously, y'all had a pretty strong showing in Southern Miss, kind of went back the other way against UTSA. What kind of things do y'all need to do to make sure that you turn it back in the right direction and have a strong game against UAB?
I mean, every day we just look each other in the eyes and we tell each other, like, what do we need to do to get better? Like, that's all we tell each other every day. Like, we're going to do this certain thing to get better, and all we're going to do is go forward. We can't worry about the past. Everything that's happened before now, it doesn't matter. It's about each week going 1-0 and trying to get to that conference championship.
And what does it mean to you to hear Coach Bloom talking about you being that kind of plug and play guy, a guy that they can bring in and plug you into the defense and keep it going at that high level?
It's amazing. Like, it's just that I love the trust that him and Coach Smith have for me, or they have grown for me over time. As much as I've been, like, even though I just got here in January, like, it's amazing how much, like, they continue to trust me through the process.
And then what's kind of where are you at with your comfort level on the defense? I know they ask a lot of you guys, and it's been a learning process since getting in mid-year. Are you at a point where you kind of feel like you're the expert now? You're in all going along the way, or where at you in your learning curve?
I'm not gonna say I'm the expert because I mean it's always something to learn. So I can always look to Munt, or I can always go back. I can go to Myron, I can go to EG, I can go to Trey, I can go to everybody on the defense because like they've been here. I trust them. So like I go to ask them a question and they're quick to give it to me.
Hey, Desmond, what have you noticed from the UAB offense that stands out and that you respect about them?
I mean, we don't really too much get into like what they're good at. I mean, they are a college football team, like Ari said, like they have their 11 on their side. We have our 11 on our side, but we worry about the 11 on our side and how we're going to play coming up to the game.